Little after work sesh here at Princeton Skate Park, which is a little weird for me to say out loud because usually when I come to Princeton, you know, the university campus is right here. So there's like 1.5 million really good street spots to choose from to go skate. But they also do have this skate park here, and it is tucked away, a little bit away from downtown, a little bit away from the campus in this residential type neighborhood. And when you first walk up to the skate park, it is enclosed in this like jail cell type cage fence thing, just like every other skate park here in New Jersey. And in case you guys were wondering why every park in the state is enclosed in a jail cell type cage, it is because of insurance law. Apparently, if New Jersey towns want to build a skate park, they're required to have an insurance policy, obviously. And that policy says that if their ramps are below a certain amount of feet tall, then the fence is required to be a certain amount of feet tall and a certain amount of feet away from the ramps. But if their ramps exceed that height and they're taller than that height, then the fence has to be even taller and even further away from the skate park. So that's why a lot of skate parks here in New Jersey, I think, don't have like really big, humongous ramp structures. So insurance kind of sucks here in the state, but you know what? Insurance sucks everywhere. And this park is actually pretty sick. It is really fun, but like the weird part is that nobody really comes here to skate, like ever. Anytime I'm ever here, it's like usually just myself and it's really empty, which is weird because it's in a really good area. Like this place is super quiet, it's super safe. But I am gonna show you guys around this skate park, and I'm gonna show you all the things that make this skate park really rad and all the things that make it kind of suck a little bit, because obviously nobody ever comes here for a reason. And the two really obvious reasons, like right off the bat, when you get here, you'll notice it right away. Number one, the dimensions of the ramps and some of the obstacles here are just a little bit strange. Like things are steeper than they need to be in places, and in some places things are like really low when they should be a little bit taller. And the other thing is that this park was built slightly unlevel. It goes like slightly uphill. So like over here, where I'm standing right now, this is at the top of the hill, but all the way back there behind me where the giant quarter pipe is, that's at the bottom of the hill. So like take this Euro gap right here, for example. This is the first thing I'm gonna skate. This bank ramp leading up to it, it's actually pretty steep and it's pretty tall, and all you're going over is that tiny little 3-stair. But if you wanna hit it, I have to start all the way down there on that giant quarter pipe. I drop in, I pump the shit out of it, I take one extra push, and then I'll have enough speed to make it up the Euro. Euro gap is solid. Right next to it, you've got the 10-stair and handrail. Take lightly that I called it a handrail. This rail is actually about the height of a curb. Check it out. It's like below knee height, and it's pretty dang steep. So I don't even know who would come here to skate this rail, but I am not one of those people. I stay far away from that rail. Right next to the 10-stair, you've got a bump to ledge with hubba going down on both sides. So I'm goofy footed. So when I'm over on this side, it's front side. Obviously the other side is back side. Hitting it front side's no problem, because I could actually just pump this box over here and I'll have more than enough speed to hit it front side. Unlike the Euro gap where I gotta like take that push in the middle of the skate park. But if I wanna skate the ledge backside, well then you kind of like run into this problem. There's like this manual pad over here, so like you can ollie up it and like go pump the crap out of that, but it doesn't really give you the speed you need, like just kind of rolling over the box here and pumping it. But the downside to that is if you're gonna go that route, you then have to take an awkward squiggly curve in. So like hitting it backside or on that side of the ledge obviously is a bit more awkward feeling. But the bump to ledge itself and the hubba going down, they're actually pretty perfect. Like it's not tall, it's just at knee height. So this is the next obstacle here. This structure is pretty sweet when you skate it just by itself, and that's like another one of the problems with this park, is that the flow of the park is not all that great. It's more of like a one-trick pony kind of park, like one trick at a time. It's not really the best layout for like doing a whole run or a whole line. But this thing in the middle is pretty diverse. There's a bunch of different ways to skate it. You've obviously got the two hips on either side. All of the bank ramps, they're pretty steep. They do launch you, which is fun. You know, you don't really have to pop all that hard to get all that high up in the air. And you do have this ledge that goes directly across the whole thing. This thing's pretty tall. But again, those bank ramps, lips leading up to it are pretty steep, so you get onto it pretty easy. We are just above knee height there. And this is the setup at the bottom of the hill. Two bank ramps on either side of this pretty big quarter pipe, which this quarter pipe is the biggest ramp in the skate park, and the transition on it is damn near perfect. So that one's got my vote for maybe one of the best obstacles in the park. You've got this box here in the middle. I'm not really sure why this is here. It is super tall to pop onto off of flat ground. Like it's taller than the ledge on top of the box over there. And you know, you're just popping to it on flat. The good part about it is that it is kind of out of the way from everything else in the park, so it's there if you want it.
Nice. Dick high manual, man.
And this is the other thing that has my vote for best obstacle in the park. So you've got the double bank ramps here, which I did hear somebody used as a Euro one time, ollieing from there all the way up to flat. That is insane. You've got the 4 flat 4, and of course, my first double kink hubba by Little Tykes. This thing is actually sick. It's not tall at all to get onto. It's actually about curb height. The kink is really mellow, and the flat part is really long. So if you've never grinded a double kink anything before, this is a great one to just kind of like get that feeler out of the way of what it feels like to grind through a kink. Like it's not all that like crazy. It's pretty mellow, so you're not going to eat a bunch of shit. And even if you do get caught up on it, at least like you've got that long flat section there, so you're not going to like eat shit going down the stairs or anything like that. And finally, the bump to mani pad. This is the last obstacle in the park. So it is about curb height, nothing crazy to get onto. The bank ramp is long and steep, bigger than it needs to be for this obstacle. The pad could have been just a little bit taller, but it's actually not all that long either. You're looking at about 4 feet there. So pretty cool obstacle to get tech on if you'd like. You don't have to hold your manual all that long.
But all in all, dude, this park is actually really tight. It is challenging and a little bit hard to skate. The dimensions of the ramps and all the complaints that I mentioned throughout the video, those are all really valid, man. So it makes sense why like a lot of people don't frequent here that often. Also, the ground here, it's not like your typical smooth skate park concrete. When you fall here, you don't just slide. You are almost guaranteed to stick and get a little chopped up. It's a little cheese grater-esque here. And the other thing that you guys need to remember, like if you do plan to come here and skate, it is in a residential area. So either you're gonna show up here and nobody's gonna be here, or you're gonna show up here and there's gonna be like a ton of little kids on scooters and on bikes doing like the roller skating rink thing, going in circles, and their mom is gonna be sitting on the double kink hubba, not doing anything about it. So just keep that in mind. But honestly, if you guys did come out of the way to come here, it is totally worth the trip, because even worst case scenario, you absolutely hate Hilltop Skate Park, which I don't think you will. I think most people that come here end up having a fun session. But if you do actually hate it, you could always just like go around the corner to like one of the million different street spots that are amazing here in Princeton. So come on down, man. This park definitely doesn't get enough love, doesn't get enough people showing up here.